Tim, there's been a lot that's been written about and talked about in recent press about the challenges in the venture capital industry. People have cited the overwhelming amount of money that's come into the industry. Billion-dollar funds are still being raised this year, and yet on the other hand, on the flip side, it's getting cheaper and cheaper to start companies for entrepreneurs. So what do you think the future of the industry holds in terms of the competitiveness of that environment and with angel investors becoming more and more prominent?
Well, look, I think the venture capital business has to go through a change. It does every cycle. It used to be just a very small clubby environment, and then it was all the way across the United States, and now it's a global phenomenon. And venture capital has brought us so much in the way of technological progress, in the way of better lifestyle. So many great things have come through venture capital investing in entrepreneurship that we know it's here to stay. And I would say that this is one of those times that it's going to be reinvented. And I think the things that are going to be very important in venture capital are that venture capitalists should be global, they should be well networked, well connected, and then they should be going after opportunities that change entire industries rather than small incremental change. And if they do that, we're going to have a really exciting next 10 years or so.
And Draper Fisher is probably the preeminent firm when you talk about some of these strategies, particularly the global strategy. Can you tell us a little bit about what your firm is doing out here in Asia and what you view the Asia environment to be like for venture capital?
Yeah, it's so exciting here in Asia. In fact, what I've noticed, we've been investing in Asia for, I guess it's 10 or 15 years, and I've watched it evolve. And in fact, I was here even 20 years before that when China was all bicycles, and now it's really gotten to be quite a country. In that, growing up in the Silicon Valley, I watched while everybody was very optimistic, very spirited and excited and creating new things and moving things forward. I now feel that in China. I feel that in China, people are confident, they are trying new things, they're innovating, they're trying, the entrepreneurs here are pushing the edge farther and more aggressively than anybody I'm seeing in the Silicon Valley. So I'm actually incredibly excited about the innovation and the entrepreneurial energy in China, but also we have an office in Vietnam and one in Korea, and also I've run into several entrepreneurs here in Hong Kong. So I think this is probably going to be the most exciting place to be investing moving forward.
Are there any particular sectors that you think are particularly well suited for the venture capital investing model in Asia?
Yeah. Now, I look at all of these sectors as very much global, but I think in CIT, in communication information technologies, we now have 1 billion people connected to the web, and we have 2 billion people connected by cell phones. We're going to have entrepreneurs who come up with new kinds of software, new kinds of services that will proliferate very quickly through those billion hands, or multiple billion hands, and so billions and billions of dollars of value can be created faster than ever before in CIT industries. Now, we also believe that clean tech is a great opportunity because those industries are an order of magnitude bigger than what you're seeing in CIT. Clean tech is a very difficult thing for a venture capitalist to invest in because a lot of the clean tech opportunities are very capital intensive. But if you pick and choose and you get entrepreneurs who are very focused on the part of the clean tech world that is that they are the absolute best in the world, then there are going to be some great opportunities to build incredible value in clean technology too.
If you had to choose one characteristic of a deal or a startup company that's most important to you when you look at investing, what would that characteristic be?
I think it would be the entrepreneur. It's amazing how incredible enthusiasm, charisma, energy, and a singular focus on one mission can be so attractive to all the people around them, to be attractive to their customers, to be attractive to the world around them. One person can make that big, huge difference. And so that's what I look for. I look for that one person who is out to make a really big difference, and someone who will attract other people to the idea, to the vision, to the journey, because it's always a little rocky out there as being an entrepreneur. You don't know when the good news is coming, you don't know when the bad news is coming, but if you just keep marching along on the mission, good things happen. And those entrepreneurs who have that just passion and vision, and that's all they want to do with their lives, those are the entrepreneurs that are really going to make a big success.
Okay. I've heard about a study recently came out of Stanford Business School which said that approximately less than 20 companies a year that are invested in by the venture community represent close to 100% of the profits in the industry in any given year. So sort of very, very concentrated returns profile. What would you say to the LP community about why, in light of this information, the venture asset class is still an important asset class for them to invest in?
Well, I think generally venture capital is risk capital. It's on the high risk, high reward end of the spectrum. But if you have a diversified portfolio, that diversified portfolio should definitely include venture capital, because throughout history, venture capital has out-returned every other asset class. Now, you are relying on that 1 out of 10 companies to make a big impact, but you also it also varies a little bit with the natural cycles that come. It turns out that venture capital will have come up with a big boom and then come down with a bust, and then that's followed by private equity coming up with a big boom and then a bust and then a recession. It's happened three cycles in a row. So the last 60 years have brought us 3 of these cycles. Private equity has had its boom and its crash and its recession. It looks to me as though venture capital, it is our time, because venture capital is what helps bring these great companies to life when there's a recession. People jobs are lost. All of these things happen. Venture capital creates new life, new jobs, and it's a part of the natural renewal of any economy. Anyway, that cycle is coming back. So that's another reason for these LPs to start thinking about investing pretty heavily in venture capital now. But mostly it's this asset class, no matter how bad it's been for the last 8 years, and it has been tough for the last 8 years because it's been the private equity time. Venture capital has always out-returned, over the long, long haul, venture capital has out-returned every other asset class.